Hello and welcome to TVB News. I'm Melissa Hekalea. Beijing has warned countermeasures against Washington and signaled it won't back down in the face of U.S. President Donald Trump's 100% tariff threat. The Commerce Ministry said in a statement, willful threats of high tariffs are not the right way to get along with China, calling for addressing concerns through dialogue. Danny Zhou has more.
Donald Trump ratcheted up trade tensions with China this week by announcing an additional 100% levy starting next month. That's on top of the existing 30% tax on Chinese goods. Trump claimed Beijing's tightening of its rules for rare earth exports was holding the world captive and said U.S. export controls on all critical software are on the way. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Commerce said today that the curbs on rare earths and related items are normal and lawful actions taken by the Chinese government to refine the country's own export control system. Authorities have undertaken sufficient assessment of the potential impact on the supply chain, which they believe to be very limited. The ministry lashed out at the U.S. government's double standards and said it has been overstretching the concept of national security and abusing export control for a long time. It pointed to Washington's discriminatory actions against China, as well as unilateral long-arm jurisdiction measures on a vast range of products, including semiconductor equipment and chips. The ministry also said Washington rolled out a string of restrictive measures shortly after the Madrid talks in September, citing the addition of Chinese firms to a U.S. trade blacklist and port fees on China-linked vessels as examples. The spokesperson expressed firm opposition to those actions, which he says have undermined the atmosphere of bilateral economic and trade talks. He said China's stance is clear and consistent. We do not want a trade war, but we are not afraid of one. But if the U.S. insists on going the wrong way, China will surely take resolute measures to protect its legitimate rights and interests. Beijing has urged Washington to protect the hard-won outcomes of the negotiations, continue to use their economic and trade consultation mechanism, and properly manage differences. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
A delegation led by the Commissioner Office of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Hong Kong SAR visited Xinjiang to promote cooperation between the city and the autonomous region. During a conference with local government officials, Hong Kong was acknowledged as the largest source of foreign investment in Xinjiang, playing a crucial role in the region's development. Timothy Lee has more.
Last year, Xinjiang's GDP surpassed 2 trillion yuan, representing an approximate 6% increase from the previous year. On the first day of the tour, the delegation, which included representatives from various Hong Kong-based consulates, foreign chambers of commerce, and local businesses, attended the Exploring Xinjiang conference to learn about the development of free trade zones, the investment climate, and the cultural tourism ministry. Local officials emphasized the significant potential and momentum for collaboration between Xinjiang and Hong Kong, which has become the largest source of foreign investment in Xinjiang. Cui Jianchun, the leader of the delegation, stated that Hong Kong should leverage its expertise in financial and legal services to help Xinjiang products access international markets. Representatives from consulates, chambers of commerce, and local enterprises also contributed to the forum. James Tong, director of Group Public Affairs at John Swire & Sons, the parent company of local airline Cathay Pacific, announced plans to increase the frequency of direct flights from Hong Kong to Urumqi from 4 flights a week to once a day, after launching the first flight in April. It aims to attract international travelers to explore Xinjiang and the broader Western region. The Deputy Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development, Bernard Chan, affirmed that Hong Kong has both the capability and the responsibility to serve as an effective platform to connect internally and externally. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Lawmakers Jeffrey Lam and Gary Zhang have announced their decision not to seek another term in the Legislative Council, adding 2 more to the list of 6 lawmakers who will leave the lawmaking body. 73-year-old Lam, a non-official member of the Executive Council, announced his decision on social media, stressing his intention to focus on the business sector amid the recovery of the city's economy. This as 36-year-old Zhang from New Prospect said his decision was made owing to family reasons and thanked the nation for placing trust in him over the past 4 years and the support of local residents. Financial Secretary Paul Chan said he will attend the annual meetings of the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund in the U.S. He said he'll announce the latest developments in Hong Kong and highlight the potential of the city's northern metropolis. Samantha Lee tells us more.
Writing on his weekly blog, Financial Secretary Paul Chan reviews his forthcoming trip to the annual meetings of the World Bank Group and the IMF in Washington. Attending as part of China's delegation, Chan will exchange views on trends in global trade and finance with investors, business institutions, and scholars. He said he will also present the opportunities available in the northern metropolis and the Greater Bay Area, and also address topics of concerns that they may have on Hong Kong. With the world facing geopolitical and economic headwinds, the finance chief believed communication and candid exchanges will help eliminate misunderstandings and build trust. Citing U.S. authorities' figures, he noted that U.S. service exports to Hong Kong in the second quarter of this year grew 15% year-on-year. He reiterated that Hong Kong will maintain its status of a free port under one country, two systems, and will continue to welcome foreign companies to invest and start business. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
On a TVB News program, Hong Kong Bar Association Chairman Jose Antonio Morales spoke about whether legal representatives from abroad have changed their views about the city's judiciary. Regarding the government's recent consideration to ban high-risk activities during active typhoons, Morales stressed any legislation must take personal freedom into consideration. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Having earlier attended the ceremony celebrating the start of the UK's legal year, Hong Kong Bar Association Chairman Jose Antonio Morales engaged in a number of exchanges with more than 40 representatives from different parts of the world. When asked whether legal professionals from abroad have come to regard Hong Kong's judiciary as having changed, the bar chairman said it depends on whether certain individuals had prior experience in the city's field of law. He emphasized that those who know about Hong Kong's legal system understand the city's law is similar to that of other common law territories, while some who lack the experience would mistakenly believe judges in Hong Kong were sent from the mainland. On the upcoming verdicts of the national security trial of former media mogul Jimmy Lai, Morley expected some international attention. But added that all lawyers' associations would object to any talks of sanctioning the Hong Kong judiciary. Meanwhile, Morley also pointed out the bar's concerns about potential laws preventing high-risk activities during typhoons.
I think as a professional body of lawyers, we will not support or not support any particular proposed legislation or not. We do notice that there are already existing offences under our statute books, including the offences against the persons and other offences. I think the real question is whether legislation in any particular scenario is the right solution, and is it the first thing we want to think about. The other thing we think is very important is, of course, freedom, because in the usual course of human experience, we will all take risks. So you can invest
Timothy Lee, TVB News.
France's on- and off-again Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu said there were not a lot of candidates for his job and that he would only stay as long as conditions are met. Lecornu was reappointed by President Emmanuel Macron on Friday after a week of political chaos. He called for calm and for the support of political parties to produce a budget for France before looming deadlines. He did not say when he expects to form a new government or who could be in it. He also didn't address opposition demands to scrap a contentious law raising the retirement age. Welcome back. In the U.S., high school homecoming celebrations in Mississippi ended in gunfire in two separate shootings on opposite sides of the state Friday night. The shootings left at least 8 people dead and many more injured. Tracy Furness has more.
Police in the small Mississippi town of Heidelberg are investigating a shooting during a school's homecoming weekend that left 2 people dead. Both were killed on the school campus Friday night, according to police, who declined to say whether the victims were students. An 18-year-old man is being sought for questioning. The shooting happened on the campus where the Heidelberg Oilers were playing their homecoming football game, but it wasn't clear exactly when the gunfire occurred or how close it was to the stadium. The town of about 640 residents is about 137 kilometers southeast of the state capital, Jackson. This as 6 people were killed and 20 others injured in a shooting at another homecoming celebration in Leland, Mississippi. 4 died at the scene and 2 died later at the hospital. 4 of the injured are said to be in critical condition. One witness described the scene as horrific. State Senator Derek Simmons described it as chaotic. No arrests have been made and authorities are seeking information. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
For the upcoming national games, karate has been changed from an official competition discipline to a mass participation event. Representatives of the Hong Kong team hope to use the national games as a platform to demonstrate the Hong Kong spirit. Celine Chan spoke to them.
With confident determination in their eyes, their movements executed with perfectly synchronized precision. The trio started forming a team to participate in karate competitions during their university days. They will now compete in the women's amateur team karate event on a much bigger stage, the 15th National Games.
As a Hong Kong representative, it's very different from what you do in university as you're playing for a national team. We're trying to improve our performance by training harder and putting more of our time.
They qualified through a selection trial and began intensive training arranged by the Karate-Do Federation of Hong Kong, China. They have prepared 4 katas, which could be understood as choreographed sequences for the national games. Besides performing kata, the competition also includes a bunkai segment to demonstrate the practical application of the contestants' techniques.
The judging criteria for team kata are largely the same as for individual kata, but besides speed and strength, it also emphasizes synchronization. Well, as for me, I clearly need more practice.
They hope to challenge for a medal while also pushing their own limits.
As you can just see, when we hit each other, when we do every movement, and they just pretend they were defeated in the competition area, but they will immediately do another revenge. And it's just like Hong Kongers, we will never give up, no matter in what aspect, no matter in our work, in our academic. We will just all in our to achieve our goal.
The karate mass participation events will be hosted in Macau. The Hong Kong team will participate in all 8 sub-events. Celine Chan, TVB News.
You may have seen robot dogs and even wolves, but what about robot birds? These flyers look quite similar to real birds, but they're actually robots. Their wings flap and their noise is limited. They can identify targets in real time and send images to their owners. That involved a lot of development on their stability in flight. The bigger ones are eagles, while smaller ones are called birds. Developers believe, among other uses, they can be utilized in warfare in the future. That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.